Natural language processing, detection of mental state by textual content. Today I'm going to talk about natural language processing, mental state detection by textual content, BLSTM and BERT model approach to solve this problem. Natural language processing, also known as NLP, is a subfield of linguistics, computer science, and artificial intelligence concerned with the interaction between computers and human language. Mental state detection. The root problem is detection of mental health conditions. Solutions analyze mental status of patients based on textual data. Most common approach is using deep learning algorithms. It could be a binary classification or multi-class classification task. For example, detecting depression, have depression or not, is binary classification, and detecting several mental illnesses is multi-class classification task. Relevance. For 2017 research estimates that 10.7% of people lived with a mental health disorder. The number of people with signs of depression in 2015 was projected to be 4.4%. Suicide has become a major reason for death among young people, with a general suicide rate of 10.5 per 100,000 people. BLSTM and BERT model approach. Today's presentation based on this research, a neural text mining approach for mental health prediction using BLSTM and BERT model. As you can see, there are following stages of this approach. Data collection, data preprocessing, data labeling, text representation, and classification. Data collection. In this research mentioned before, authors used data from Reddit and Twitter. They used API wrappers to gather text by hashtags and from appropriate subreddits. But you can use any source of data like Google or create it manually. Data preprocessing. Data preprocessing means filtering noisy and vague data. When using data from social media, you need to understand that people may exchange information in an informal way. Possible solution is to substitute jargon and emojis using Emojipedia. Data preprocessing has its own stages, like tokenization, removing stop words, and part-of-speech tagging. Tokenization. This method means splitting a sizable amount of text into small portions, commonly known as tokens. Tokenization is used to reduce non-alphanumeric characters and break down sentences into words. Removing stop words and converting to lowercase. This part means removing words that have no significant information and converting words to lowercase. The most frequent words that considered irrelevant are pronouns, prepositions, symbols, conjunctions, articles, and URLs. Part of speech tagging. This practice means categorizing words into their part of speech. These labels can be nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, determiners, and conjunctions. Text embedding goes after data preprocessing and means converting words into vectors for further classification. There are few techniques of word embedding. Word-to-vec is a bunch of embedding models such as continuous back of words and continuous skipgrams. First model used when needed to predict current word by surrounding words, and skipgrams use n-grams to predict surrounding words based on current. Fast text model, embedding method proposed by Facebook's AI research lab. Representation of words are learned from character n-grams, and words are represented as the sum of the n-grams vectors. BERT is a recent approach proposed by researchers using the Google AI language. BERT uses the transformer architecture and attention mechanism that discovers contextual context between words. Final stage is classification. Classifier needed to classify word vectors into one of chosen classes. Now I want to describe the following classifiers. CVM, support vector machine. This method is accurate but requires time to train and sensitive to noisy data. LSTM, long short-term memory networks, are an extension of recurrent neural networks. LSTM is a great tool for anything that has a sequence. Very accurate but requires time and resources to train. BLSTM, bidirectional LSTM. The only difference between LSTM and bidirectional LSTM is the possibility for BLSTM to leverage future context chunks to learn better representation of single words. There is no special training step or unit added. The idea is just to read a sentence forward and backward to capture more information. BERT. This model API is proposed by Google. BERT is a technology to generate contextualized word embedding vectors, which is a biggest advantage, but also its biggest disadvantage, as it's very compute intensive at interference time, meaning that if you want to use it in production, it can become costly. Summary. In the mentioned study, best accuracy is 96% using the BERT model and BLSTM. To achieve best accuracy, you need preprocess data using NLP techniques, use word embedding method, and select the most appropriate classifier. Thank you for attention. Glory to Ukraine.